If you're looking for moments of legal history, how about the day the former Conservative Prime Minister John Major brought his lawyers to court to accuse the sitting Conservative Prime Minister Boris Johnson of lying? In the UK's highest court, Lord Garnier QC, speaking on behalf of Sir John, legally lashed out at Mr Johnson.
The inescapable inference to be drawn is that the prorogation is to prevent Parliament from exercising its right to disagree with the government.
In other words, Lord Garnier portrays the Prime Minister as willing to stymie MPs and lie about his motives. Because, of course, Boris Johnson told the Queen his suspension was to prepare for a Queen's speech. Lord Garnier says one of the PM's advisers, Nicky da Costa, even wrote an article about using prorogation as a tactic.
This is a person who, a few weeks before writing this briefing paper, which gives the impression that the decision was entirely logistical, was writing in The Spectator on the 29th of June. And again, that is in your papers, about the possibility of a Prime Minister running down the clock.
John Major's QC says it's unclear whether Boris Johnson even disputes this because he hasn't provided a witness statement. But government lawyers claim, whatever the Prime Minister's reasons, the courts have no right to intervene.
The applicants and the petitioners are inviting the courts into forbidden territory and into what is essentially a minefield. An ill-defined minefield.
The 11 justices heard submissions on behalf of Welsh and Scottish governments, but one from Northern Irish lawyers was criticised by the panel for veering into the realms of Brexit.
Mr Lavery, I'm really worried about your submissions.
Yes.
So many people are listening to you. Perhaps some of them have just turned on. And they will hear these points, these general points about Brexit and its effect on Northern Ireland, and it may come to an entirely the wrong conclusion, namely that this is what we are looking at. Now, don't abuse our politeness and don't abuse Lady Hale's patience.
It was emphasised at the close that leaving the EU was not the issue at stake.
We are solely concerned with the lawfulness of the Prime Minister's decision to advise Her Majesty to prorogue Parliament on the dates in question. As we have heard, it is not a simple question.
It isn't easy, and that's why 11 of the country's top legal minds will grapple with this over the weekend. And when they come back early next week, as promised, they may decide that the Prime Minister lied to the Queen, they may decide he didn't, or that it's not their place to interfere. Either way, this will be a unique moment of constitutional evolution on the big question of who has what power.
One outcome is that Parliament could be recalled next week, but depending on the judgment, it may still be possible for the Prime Minister to suspend it again. Jason Farrell, Sky News.